Oh, hello! Welcome back, and I'm here to talk about the Landscape Inside Out exhibition again. The joint exhibition with myself and Liz Ackerley at Gallery Oldham, and it's on to the 4th of June in Gallery 2. And I'm going to talk about the Woodland Dusk painting. This painting here. And it's in the woodland section of the exhibition, which is in the middle. And this painting was created from a sketch that I did on location. So I went for a walk around Mosley, nice walk, and I was just coming to the end of it, and it ended up on the bridle path, not far from the studio, and it was getting dark. So it was sort of autumn time, and all that lovely detail of the day, you know, when it's all lovely branches and colours and you can see everything, and it was getting dusk, so all those details were disappearing and all the colours were disappearing, and it was going into 2 or 3 colours, these beautiful rich sort of magentas and really dark blues and sort of golden siennas on the floor, and the water, you know, was wet on the path and it was reflecting the sky, and that sort of a really bright green sort of moss as well on the path. And I was a bit tired, but I thought no, I'll do a really quick sketch, and it was very quick because it was getting dark. So I have a sketch board and a piece of paper and got my bottle paints out, and
I'm not
stood
put
there
down this sketch. I was hoping I could do
and I
something.
did the sketch. I was working fast, so I got loaded my brush up with water, and I was trying to make it really pigment rich, so when I put it on, it was just, you know, lovely sort of dark blues, magenta in there, and just put them both on the same brush and just let it do what it wants, and just using a bit of a rigger brush to get that branches going across, and the water was running into itself and going all over the place, you know. It's like what them sort of things, you know, and it was quite exhilarating really, and it was getting darker, so it was just, I was chasing the receding light, so I was putting more pigment in because I thought, yeah, that looks even better, so I shoving more pigment in there, and just letting it do what it wants, and then I thought, you know, you can't see it now, so I packed up, and because it was full of paint, I had to walk back with it flat. I wasn't far from the studio. I've done that lots of times, walk back with the sketch light, especially when it rains, because you want to, you know, turn it around, and then so the paint doesn't disappear. Anyway, I got the sketch down, I got up to the studio, I just left it on the top, didn't really look at it, and then I went home. And then the day after, it all dried, and it's like looking at a different sketch, and I thought, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I got, you know, really got that one, and I thought I'd do a painting of that. And usually when I work from sketches, I have quite a few sketches everywhere, but I just use that one sketch really, and memory and, you know, creativity to create the painting in the studio. The way I've been doing these first paintings in the studio is what I wanted the element, special element that the sketches have, you know, so there were areas of white space, and I thought they were the best sketches where you can see the paper, you know, and so then the white paper would frame the actual paint, you know. So I wanted to get that into the sketch. So I do that, I lie the painting flat, and I put the paint on there with a huge wash of, you know, tips and odorless tips, and then I just let it, you know, let it do what it wants a little bit. You can control it a little bit, you know, and then put it on a flattened surface, and then just add colours, maybe wipe a bit away, but not too much, you know. You just want to play about it a little bit, and then just let it dry really. and then once it's dried, you know, you can put it on the easel then, stand back and look at it, and have a little think about it. And then I'll get the palette knife, you know, and I put areas of in pastel colour, not too much. You know, you don't want to home it in too much. You want that spontaneous again. I'll just leave the colours are almost out of the tube. I might mess about it with it a little bit, getting the tones and things like that, and just, and then on the branches. It doesn't always make that sound. So yeah, on the branches using the edge of the palette knife and then the surface of the palette knife, and it's a very versatile sort of thing to do and lots of fun, which is important, to have fun when you paint. It's not always, sometimes it's arduous, intense, sometimes it just goes, yeah, this is fun. It depends how it's going. Yeah, sometimes you use the palette knife, you put that mark on, you think, oh, that's good, but I can do it again, and you do it again, oh no, that's not as good, and you try to get that again, and you keep moving this little bit of paint around for a while until you get that niceness again. So sometimes it's just best to leave it once you got, usually the first stroke, you know. So, and then there's another technique that I use, is on the branches, and sometimes highlight things. What I've been doing with these paintings anyway is it's like a bit of a mono print technique. So I get a piece of paper, like a tracing paper, or just normal paper, oil paint on it with a brush, place it to the painting, get some, you know, usually whittle down the end of a brush, wooden brush, so it's nice and sharp, or not too sharp as we go for the paper. And then just mark it where you think you want it. It's not completely accurate. And then you pull it away, you know, with this, looks a bit like an etching technique. And I use that, and it's not always, but it's nice to do. And then, you know, also on the impasto paint, once it's dry, I use an alkali white with my paint, which is a fast drying oil paint, and it makes things dry quicker. Once it's dried, I'll put a wash around that pastel paint, and that makes it, you know, pop. That's what you want it to do, pop. So yeah, so that's the story behind the painting. All the paintings in the exhibition have this floating frame, which is the painting, then the gap, then it's a very simple wooden frame. So the shadow, the gap, frames the painting. So you notice the frame, but not too much. You want the painting to be the focus, ideally. So, and it really goes well with the, you know, the whole exhibition and the walls and everything like that. And I think it looks really well against all the white at the gallery, you know, and the floor reflections. So if you get any questions you want to ask, you can put it in the comment or message me, or, you know, my details are on my social medias. And okay, that's the story behind Woodland Dusk. Woodland Dusk, Woodland Dusk. Okay, thank you. So that's the Woodland Dusk painting. Now for part 2 of the video, which is all about drawing. And I'm going to give you another drawing technique. I can't emphasize enough how important drawing is. You know, it makes the foundations of a real good painting. I mean, painting is like drawing with colour, and observing, because when you draw, you observe your sort of soaking in every aspect of it, because you're looking at every aspect of what you're drawing. So when I come across a twig or a branch, I'll end up stopping and looking at it, and no wonder I'm single. So I'll get my little sketchbook out, do a little drawing, or I have my a pad as well, and a board and paper, loose paper, which I'll discuss some other time. But today we're going to do drawing, measuring with a pencil, which is I use a lot. You know, I use that a lot. So it's a really good technique to know. So here we go. Oh, and just before we go into it, very important, when you are doing this, you need to stretch your arm out fully when you're doing this, you see, because if you do this and you go to the drawing and back up again, it's going to be inaccurate. So you want to do this. So when we're doing this exercise, and when you do it yourself, this is what you want to do. Okay, don't worry about getting strange looks from people if you're doing this around outside. Actually, when a stick knows you, you know, it's fine. Okay, let's do it. So here's my subject, my fine subject here, and now we're going to demonstrate measuring with the pencil. So you need pencil. Right, well, first thing we're going to do is measure the width. So you want to put this end of the pencil with your arm outstretched to there, and then drag the thumb all the way down to the side, and then take this measurement and place it to the top, and we'll see how many widths are in the length. So like this, we'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 3 there. Right, so just want to place where the top would be, and then sort of width, estimate a width there of the bottle. I'm doing this looking through the camera, so it's a little bit awkward. So you won't go see this once you've done everything else. So that's the width. So we want to do the same again. So put the end of the pencil there, and then with your finger or your thumb, take it to the other mark, like that. Then take this measurement to the top and measure 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Like that. So I'm going to make a rectangle now of this. Okay, doesn't look like the bottle yet. So that's where the bottom will be. Anyway, right, just put a line down the centre. Doing this with the cameras. 2 eyes. Right, now the best thing to do is to measure from here to here. That'd be a good measurement to get. So what I do is I put the top of the pencil up there, and then take your thumb down to the neck, like that. Then take your thumb to the side there and see where it comes to on the width. So it's almost across 3/4 there. So if you can replicate that on here, sort of 3/4, put your finger there or your thumb. That's about that. Then take it, put the top of the pencil here, and your finger here is where you want to mark it. There we go. So that's where the neck is. Now, it'd be good to get the width of this. Now, you could just estimate it, but let's just have a see. You can just guess. That's about there. And take it here again, so that's about almost halfway. So you can get like 1, 2, and a bit in. So it was about here, 2, 3 and a bit. And there it is. So that's the width. So just try to estimate it there like that. So you go halfway. So then you can go down. So we're just getting a basic shape up to now. We know that it curves like that. Right. I'm looking for the camera doing this. So, like that. So, there we go. So you have shape of the wine bottle. And you could measure all these little bits here if you wanted to. But, like you could measure from, say, here to here if you wanted it to be accurate again. You know, it's like, so you could use a different measurement. So if you wanted it there, see where it is on the width, which is just inside, or you could do it the side again. So it's probably just under half again, like so. Sorry, like so, like that. So you put that there, mark it off, like that, and you could so then you end up with the bottle. Basically, it's just to help you get that dimensions, really. Does get a bit more finicky when it comes to more, detail. You just want to use your eye more for that. You could use it like from the top to the label if you wanted to. If you wanted to be really accurate, but that's what we're sort of aiming for, really. It was a little bit tricky working through the camera. So anyway, so you can use this for other things as well. Everything really that you draw, like from landscapes to cityscapes to anything really. Okay, so I hope that's a little bit clearer. And also, if you use this technique along with drawing negative shapes, use them together, it all helps. Because when I draw, I use this technique and looking at negative shapes, and just you combine it all really. Okay, thank you. So I hope you enjoyed that, and there'll be more art stuff and paintings and everything else to do with that soon. Thank you.